Welcome back to this special edition of Hannity. Yesterday was America's 247th birthday. But instead of celebrating freedom or the Declaration of Independence, many on the left chose to bash our amazing country instead. Let's start with Ben & Jerry's. The left-wing ice cream company declared the United States was built on, quote, stolen land, and circulated a petition to transfer Mount Rushmore to a Native American tribe. One far-left activist was even more explicit, tweeting that literally anyone waving an American flag yesterday was either a white supremacist or simply ignorant. Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush called for reparations, and several people profiled by the New York Times explained why they refused to celebrate the controversial holiday or shoot off fireworks, which they say pollute the air and sound like gunshots. Moral of the story? Think twice before inviting some hardcore liberals to your next 4th of July barbecue next year. Here now with reaction are former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, author of the new book, Unbroken Bonds of Battle, Joey Jones, and Joe Concha of The Messenger. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. Governor, I want to start with you because you're as patriotic of a person as I know. Somebody says that, if you're waving a white flag, or an American flag, you must be a white supremacist. What do you think?
Well, that's nuts. All these wealthy liberals, I find it funny. They must feel guilty about something. Let's take Ben & Jerry's. These guys sold their company for $326 million in 2000. You know how much they give to charity? 7.5%. A church tithe starts at 10%. They don't even hit that standard. If they feel so guilty, I wonder, how much of the $326 million they got for selling the company did they give to Native Americans so that they could buy back some of the land and give them reparations? I'll bet it wasn't a bunch. It's just such hypocrisy. Look, for most of us, I love America. I love the flag, ice cream, apple pie, hot dogs, barbecue ribs. And it'll take more than a bunch of liberals to ever get me hating this country or failing to celebrate the 4th of July.
Joey, first of all, congratulations on the new book. I know it's going to be a huge success. You lay it all out there. But you know what? You served our nation. You served overseas. You lost your legs serving our country. When you see these liberal loons go out and do this stuff, what message do you have for them?
The message is when we go off and fight wars so that wars don't come to our shores, this is the result sometimes. When you raise your kids spoiled, sometimes they don't have good character. You got to work twice as hard to raise spoiled kids to be good people. And maybe we need to work twice as hard to educate our children that live in a spoiled country rather than maybe create safe spaces and woke cultures for them. I don't want to be attacking or on the attack, but I love this country and I love the fact that we are free. It doesn't take good men or righteous men. It just takes willing men to do the hard things. And when we celebrate 4th of July, we celebrate those willing men that died to create freedom in this country. I hope every year we get more free, more equal, more even equitable when it's appropriate. But the idea that all of our sins erase all of our accomplishments, well, that's not the human existence. Why should it be the existence of this country?
Joe, I've had a chance to meet your kids. And, you got a patriotic family. Your wife does heroic work. I had a chance to meet her. What do you tell your kids about 4th of July and what it means? And what do you say when you kind of hear people, dissing on the flag and America in general?
Well, Jason, I tell my 7- and 9-year-old Liam Cameron, you're so lucky. You live in the greatest country in the world. You will have opportunities here like you will not have anywhere else. And when you see people like Ben & Jerry, for example, like the governor brought up, bashing this country on the 4th of July when they earn so much money, $700 million annually for their overpriced ice cream and all the 31 flavors of stupid names that come with it. So please, feel free, Ben, Jerry, to donate your profits to indigenous lands. And while you're at it, move your corporate headquarters to an Indian reservation and employ those folks if you care so much. In other words, Jason, always judge people by their actions and not their words. And if Ben & Jerry's wants to soil the 4th of July in this country on social media, then back up your words. It's really that simple.
You know, Governor, I used to think that we all had the same goals, that we all believed in the same thing. We just had different ways of getting there, but I don't believe that anymore. I do think there's a growing and disturbing set of Americans who hate this country. They want to see its demise, that they want to tear it apart, and they want to divide us. Well, am I off base there?
No, I think you're right. There was a time when Democrats and Republicans saw things a little differently. But at the end of the day, they all wanted America to be a great country. They wanted the best for their children and their future. And they had a sense of respect about people who disagreed. That no longer is the case. There are people who really, truly, you just listed some in the beginning of the segment. They want to destroy America. They hate this country. Now, my simple response to that is, tell us where you'd like to go. We'll get you a plane ticket. It will be one way. We'll load up your luggage. Tell us where you want to go. We'll send you there. We'll wish you well. Have a good life. God bless you. But get the heck out of this country, because some of us still love it.
Yeah, Joey, I mean, the governor makes a great point. I hear all these celebrities and all these others saying, oh, if Donald Trump gets elected or if Republicans take control, I'm going to move to, name your country. And then they never do. I'm not aware of a single one who's ever lived up to that pledge.
You know where they moved? They moved to Georgia and Texas, because that's where they can go create their art and not be taxed for it. That's what they do. They come on down, they complain, and then they stay quiet so they can collect a paycheck from a state government that doesn't take it all away. It's a part of the American experience. We have the First Amendment. We can say whatever we want without consequence, or at least we should be able to. Some of the segments earlier tonight, Jason, shows not everybody always can. But you can complain about things all you want to, but don't expect people to listen. Don't expect to be persuasive. Because regular people with real jobs and real hardships, they don't hear any of that. And they don't mind one day a year to celebrate the fact that when they wake up in the morning, they get to go be whatever they chose to be for a living, or they're still working to try to be. That opportunity means something, and it means something most to those still struggling for it.
Joe, it is your right as a citizen to petition your government, complain about things, you express your opinion. Sure. I guess where it goes over the line is when you start attacking people on their religion, and when you start doing these crazy things, trying to influence and pervert the kids. That's where it goes over the line for me.
Of course. And in Virginia and in Florida, Jason, as we saw with Youngkin and DeSantis, when they ran on those issues, when it comes to education, for example, and my first and third grader have to be taught about gender identification, sexual orientation, that is something that you're not a Republican or a Democrat or an independent anymore. You're a parent. And you say no more to this. I disagree. And it's why DeSantis won by the margin he did in Florida. It's why Youngkin, going against Clinton royalty, right? Terry McAuliffe, Joe Biden won that state by 10 points. And then Youngkin comes in, just like Donald Trump, a businessman who runs for office for the first time. He wins. There are issues that aren't about ideology. They're about common sense and about good parenting. And I think that's what's going to decide the 2024 election. Ultimately, if the candidates allow those issues to come to the forefront, education and common sense, that's all it's about, Jason.
Well, God bless America. We live in the greatest country on the face of the planet. I just wish everybody would understand that. Governor Huckabee, Joey, and Joe, thank you for joining us.